They hurt you. They lied, manipulated, ghosted you. Maybe they made you question your own worth. And then, they walked away, not with remorse, but with a smile, almost like you were the problem. You wanted justice, maybe revenge, but something inside you held back. That something was wisdom, because the Stoics knew what we often forget. Life has a more precise way of restoring balance, and karma. It doesn't need your hands. It works in silence, and it never misses. This isn't a story of bitterness, it's a story of awareness, clarity, and silent power. Let's talk about how karma really works. Quiet, relentlessly, without you lifting a single finger, because the most powerful retribution is peace, your peace. There was a moment, maybe small, maybe loud, when they chose comfort over truth, lie over love, and they believed it came without cost. They thought walking away from someone who would have stood by them through anything was freedom, but karma is patient, and every choice comes with a cost. When they left you, they didn't win, they just started a timer. On the surface, their life looks amazing. They post more, laugh more, travel more. But that's the trap. When you abandon depth, you start drowning in surface. Now, they live in a carefully curated version of themselves. A character, a performance, and karma's first quiet punishment? The prison of pretense. Pretending is exhausting. Acting strong when you feel weak. Posting happiness when your heart is empty. That's not freedom. That's mental prison. And every day, they keep up the mask. They lose a little more of who they really are. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When someone wrongs others and never reflects, they lose touch with themselves. They believe they've moved on. But what really happened? They abandoned themselves in the process of abandoning you, because you can't betray others without first betraying your own values. Now, when they look in the mirror, they don't like what they see. They feel it in the silence, not when they're busy, but late at night, when the noise fades and karma whispers, "You've drifted from who you really are." They replaced you too fast. Someone new to distract them. To pretend the loss didn't hurt. But karma's next move? Emptiness in abundance. They may have company, but not connection. They may receive attention, but not understanding. They gave up someone who saw their soul. Now, they only meet people who see their profile. And once you've tasted real surface, won't satisfy you anymore. But that's all they have now. Noise. Lots of noise. And it's deafening. Karma has another weapon: old wounds. Because what isn't healed returns stronger. Where they ran from their past, their patterns, their pain. But now, it's back. In new relationships. In familiar arguments. In confusion. The new person? They don't have your patience. So the same cycles repeat. Faster. Worse. Uglier. Karma's not hurting them. It's reflecting them. You are a blessing. They didn't see it. So karma removes you not just from their past, but from their future. Opportunities start slipping away. Connections fall through. Things that used to work suddenly don't. Not because you cursed them, but because life doesn't reward what isn't respected. You are a gift. And the universe doesn't keep giving gifts to people who mishandle them. That's the law of energy. That's karma. This is karma's final move. And it's the most painful. It's not loud. It's not public. It's quiet. Regret. It doesn't arrive early. It waits for silence. Then it hits a smell, song, a street. And suddenly, their heart remembers you. Not the conflict, but the peace. The way you looked at them when they didn't believe in themselves. How you listened when they couldn't find the words. And then it lands. They lost someone real, someone rare. And they threw it away. That's the kind of pain that doesn't fade. It lingers. It echoes for years. Now, let's talk about you. Because in Stoic philosophy, the most powerful response is not revenge. It's out. Elevation. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. You didn't fight back. You didn't scream. You didn't become who they were. You became who you were meant to be." And that's terrifying. Because they expected chaos. Instead, they saw calm. They expected bitterness. Instead, they saw grace. They expected to break you, but you healed. And in that healing, they lost access. True peace is silent, not because it has nothing to say, but because it no longer needs to be understood. You don't check their updates anymore. You don't care who they're with. You're not waiting for closure, because your peace came from within. And that peace, it's untouchable. They can't manipulate it, can't question it, can't reach it. And that version of you, the one who would have forgiven them again, that version ... and no longer exists. Life always circles back. One way or another ... It reveals the truth. Maybe they'll type a message and delete it. Maybe they'll smile in a room full of people, but feel completely alone. And in that moment, they remember you. Just your name. But the feeling, the safety, the presence, the version of themselves that only existed when you were near. That's what karma takes away. Well, just the person, but who they were with that person. So let this be your reminder. You don't need revenge. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to show them what they lost. Just heal. Just move forward. Because karma, it doesn't strike to punish. It corrects to balance. And sometimes, the best justice is to live so well that they no longer recognize the version of themselves they became without you. That's not ego, that's evolution. Carl Jung once said, "Shame is a soul-eating emotion, and shame lives in silence." The silence they now live in, every unspoken regret, every reminder they can't shake. That's karma. And you? You don't have to lift a finger. Let life do what life does. It always comes full circle. In its own time, with precision, with silence, and without mercy for those who never showed it. You were the blessing. Losing you, that was the consequence. Let that truth give you peace. Keep walking. Keep rising. Because your silence, it speaks volumes, and your peace, that's the final word.